Shane getting the cue ball clean there. Obviously a bit of chalk where he's hitting the ball. And he does have an opening shot here on the one ball.
We know that Ralph Souquet has won this title on a record 6 occasions. Currently, Shane van Boening is tied with 2 others in second place on the all-time pantheon of World Masters champions with 2 wins. Wants to be second alone on that list.
Well, that's a very, very useful flick on the 7, that.
Sure, it was.
Wow.
Yeah, he touched the 7 ball coming off the rail, and that helped out.
Here we see it. Just the friendliest of nudges. Yes, also on 2 wins in this tournament. From Germany, Thomas Engert, and from the Philippines, Francisco Bustamante.
Stato. Mr. Stato, yeah? And Shane's looking good for this rack now, after the useful flick on the 7.
Do you think it's any advantage, Carl, the fact that he was involved in the second semi-final? So basically he's going on warm.
Yeah, I do think there's a bit of an advantage there for sure, because obviously Niels has played the first semi-final and he's had to go upstairs in the practice room and probably hit balls on that table, which plays so much different to the TV arena, and it's such a quick turnaround. Shane's not really had a chance to do anything, has he? He's just straight back out there, so yeah, I think there's a slight advantage in that. But then some people might say Niels has had a chance to have a bit of a break, so maybe personal preference.
Yeah, I think what you said about Shane being probably a little looser would be true, because he's certainly not tired. I mean, maybe if it had been a long day where they played one of these 5 or 6 match tournaments, but he only played, 2 today.
Well, that was a pretty nifty way to start out. Shane van Boening is such a formidable opponent. The one mystery, of course, is why he doesn't perform like this, and this form doesn't translate into the Mosconi Cup. If it did, the European domination might be a little less than it is at the moment.
Well, here you see the break. It was dry. I have a theory about that. I just think that Shane, he is deaf. You can see the hearing aids in his ear, and Shane grew up sort of living in his own world, doing his own thing. He's a guy who likes to do his own thing. He's not somebody who would you consider a leader of a team.
Yeah,
he's a loner.
I think that's
and anybody who knows Shane, you see him when in these events like this, he doesn't hang out with the people in the bar after the matches are over. And Shane can always be just found by himself, training, practicing. So I think that Shane is more of just a solo player. He likes to be by himself and do his own thing. I don't see him being comfortable in that team situation.
I'll tell you what, he's comfortable with that break. The 3 ball going in pretty much at the last gasp. The 1 and the 2 sitting pretty. Away he goes again.
I don't know, Carl, what do you think? Why is that anywhere close to
I mean, yeah,
the
possibly,
truth, perhaps?
Yeah.
In your experience with hanging out with him, playing with him?
I think having played in the Mosconi, even though the Masters is a short race to 8, you can still sort of be a bit more relaxed, and obviously you're playing for yourself as well. With the Mosconi, race to 5, it's like the slightest little error, and it can literally just cost you the match, like, because it's only a race to 5. So you tend to play a bit slower in the Mosconi, if that makes sense. You're trying to take a lot of care as well with this. Shane's a very fluent player, and he likes to get on a roll and, just get these racks won super quick, and before you know it's like 3-4-0, and he's halfway there. As where, I don't know, the Mosconi, you've got, obviously you know yourself, there's like 2,000 people there.
Yeah, those short races, you really can't, there's no roll to get on.
Well, that was a malfunction. Played for the pink 4-ball, and he snookered himself.
Yeah, it was a poor shot there, and he's just trying to kick this and make things happen, but you never know where it's going to go. And I think he's left a shot for Niels. So
sure has.
An early break for Niels there, because it was looking like 2-0. But he's got to judge this shot well. Come all the way back down the table for the 5. So pace is key on this shot.
Extension called.
Yeah, it looks like he's digging down on the cue ball here to spin this round. He's got to avoid the 7. 7's the big ball here, and he's missed it. It was a nice shot, right?
He certainly must be surprising himself here this week after coming off a 6-month layoff due to that tennis elbow injury, and playing this well, this relaxed.
Yeah, I mean, obviously he's been injured, he's had a break, but you know, he's a very, very professional player, and he's known for putting plenty of hours in, so he's not going to come here feeling, you know, like he's not in stroke, if you like, because he's put so many hours in back home practicing. You know, he does everything right, and it just looks like the same old Niels to me.
It's a well-played rack from Niels here.
Yeah, and it was a mistake from Shane, so is that an early sign?
And it was a gross misjudgment as well, because he was pretty much full ball snookered behind the 8-ball. That was the escape. OK, made contact, but left the chance, and from there, Feijen equalised. You know, I'm just thinking, it's exactly 9 months to the day, to the start of the 2018 Mosconi Cup. The incentive for Niels Feijen is that if he wins this tournament, what a foundation that is to earn a selection.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, if you win this tournament, you're certainly going to be spoke about for selection of the team come December.
And Ted, no one can doubt his credentials because, as we've already told you, between 2011 and 2015, he was MVP for Europe on 4 out of 5 occasions.
He loves the Mosconi Cup. He is a big-time player. He won the 2013 Whirlpool Masters, and then that was the springboard for Niels to go on to win the 2014 World 9-Ball Championship. He's been at this game for well over 20 years now. Just jumps out of his shoes. This will work out nicely.
Yeah, and the good break continues. There you see it, another ball made, and a very, very generous split. No balls covering each other. Everything goes in a pocket. This is a lovely split.
On a consistent basis, the table is broken better tonight than in any of the other sessions.
Yeah, for sure.
it should be plain sailing, but we said that in the previous rack with Van Boening, so don't count chickens.
Yeah, I mean, there's always a sort of shot that can possibly go wrong, and I think in this rack, it's going to be the 8 to the 9. So from the 7 ball, he's got to make sure he gets a natural angle on the 8, so it's just plain sailing to come back down for the 9. There you see him just checking the angle he wants.
Extension called.
Nicely done. Well, he looks good.
Yeah, it was a very generous layout, to say the least, off the break shot, so fully expected him to clear that table to take a 2-1 lead.
Niels Feijen, well rested, came here full of determination. There's still an awfully long way to go in the final, but right now he is looking as solid as you like. He leads Shane Van Boening. 15th and closing match of what's been a cracking tournament, the Mansion-Bet World Pool Masters of 2018. We've reached the final, and Niels Feijen has made the better start. 2-1 ahead as he breaks off in rack 4.
And it's another successful break there. Look at this. He's really getting the break going here. 2 balls on the break.
He's got it going on that break shot.
And he's left with a little tricky shot here on the 1 ball. He's got to play this into the far left pocket. And it's a blind pocket shot, we call it. And he's got to sort of soft draw this just to it before the middle pocket. So it's not an easy shot. It's a little tester. Oh, and it's right in the heart of the pocket. This is good signs for Niels Feijen fans.
Connect the dots, Carl.
Yeah, I mean, this is just elementary 9-ball pool now for Niels. Just making sure you land the right side of your next ball still, because you don't want to land short on the 6, so you're sending the cue ball around the table. And he's really got into that. That needs to hold up. That needs to hold up. Wow, he got into that ball. Look at that. But it's actually not too bad up there. But he really got into that. Maybe a bit of adrenaline there early on.
This is as sharp as I've seen Niels playing in quite some time.
Indeed, and with that, another break and run out. He leads by 3 racks to 1. And so Shane Van Boening, snookering himself in the second rack, is beginning to look more and more significant, more and more expensive from his perspective.
Well, he said he's well on the road to being fully cured of that tennis elbow, and he said it was very frustrating for a while. He went to one physio who prescribed the wrong regime, was lifting too much weight, and then he found another physio who figured out
Leading 3 racks to 1.
The correct path forward, and he does about 2 hours of physical therapy a day.
Wow.
And he said that the tennis elbow did not come from playing or practicing too much. It was doing other things, including one thing he said, cutting wood.
And there you see another successful break, but as you see the 7 balls come round and just tied it up. There you see the 7 come round.
What's with that 7 ball? It's always the problem ball, right? Causing problems after the break.
You're saying it's just the 7?
Seems like it.
Yeah, he's just trying to play a little duck shot there, and I think that's pretty good.
Yes, sometimes simple is best. Sometimes there's no options.
I'm just wondering if he can. Well, it looks like he can go off the cushion just to nick it.
Extension cold.
If he can't, he has got an opportunity to go off the bottom cushion just before the side cushion and maybe pot it. But from the overhead view, yeah, he's going to just try and flick this and duck the cue ball in behind the 7. He must be able to see more than this than. Yeah, he's played it bad. He's not hit that good at all.
That couldn't have been worse.
Yeah. I'm not sure if he could have got there. He was trying to get a full ball hit on the 3 just to leave the cue ball there. And there you see it. That is the worst case scenario. And it's horrible when you sat in your chair there and you're 3-1 down and you look at the table and your opponent's got
extension cold.
All the balls in the open and it looks like going 4-1.
And he's been breaking pretty good.
Yeah, and he's breaking like God. I mean, yeah, that's a nice shot. Good speed there.
Couple of times on the close-up shot we've seen Feijen at the table shaking. Now that's not unusual in the world of snooker. The best in the business, the world #1 and current world champion Mark Selby, he does the same thing. You can see him just have a little bit of movement down there, and I think that indicates just how much it all means to him. No bad thing having nerves if you can control them.
Well, I mean, I think everybody who goes out in the arena, you do feel nerves, but I think it's a good nervous energy type thing rather than you're just going to collapse and fold on the floor. But he's looking good here, is Niels. Everything seems to be pinpoint, right side of the ball.
Yeah, he is playing precision. He's focused, but he's also relaxed. You don't often associate the word relaxed with Niels Feijen. He's a very intense player, but you can tell that he came here this week refreshed. You know, he was forced to step away from the game because he simply could not play due to the injury.
And when stuff like that afflicts a sportsman, it's only natural for them to think, is this going to be career-ending or long-term? So to be here and be involved is a relief. And to be this far ahead in the final, 4-1, halfway to his ultimate goal, well, that's bordering on dreamland. What a story this would be. Niels Feijen. Been there, done that, won plenty of titles. I think in many respects, after the problems he's had over the last 6 months, this would be the most satisfying.
Well, yeah, and sometimes when you have an injury or you have a setback, it maybe not appear right away that it's going to be of some benefit down the line, but certainly that injury appears to have been a blessing in disguise.
This was a clumsy one from Van Boening. Not his first shot of that ilk in this match.
Yeah, going back to what you say about the injury, I mean, sometimes I've been to a tournament where I've had a really bad head cold and just didn't even want to play, and I've actually played really good. So it can sort of take your mind off it, and you're thinking, oh, I'm not going to play good, I don't feel well. But
so you don't have that pressure.
Yeah, it can be funny. So, you know, maybe he's come here with no expectation, just see what happens, and, you know, he's found himself in the final, and obviously he's got a 4-1 lead, so he's looking real good. But as we said, things can change so quick.
Niels Feijen to break, leading 4 racks to 1.
He is breaking really good. He's really getting a lot of power into this break and getting the rack moving. And there you see.
Wow.
That's 3 balls.
Whoa.
And 3 balls going. That's 4 balls.
4 balls
There's
down.
no balls left.
But no shot on the 2.
Wow. Look at this again.
I think it's appropriate at this juncture to ask this question, Cole. What's the most balls you've ever seen potted on a break?
I've seen Alex Pagulayan pot 6, and he had 3 balls left. It's actually on YouTube. He had 3 balls left, and he missed the first shot. It was funny.
The one ball that's left here is the 6, and that's the obstructing ball, so he needs the jump cue.
And he is very, very handy with this jump
correct,
cue.
I was just going to say that. He's one of the best in the world with this thing. That's why he's not really scared of just going over for it and having a look. He's not even thought about a push out here. He's gone straight for the shorty.
Extension called.
I think what he's looking at here is if he jumps it, I think he knows the cue ball's coming down in between the 7 and the 8. So he's not happy where the cue ball's going to go. But he's having a go. Yeah, he's disgusted with himself there. He's not hit that very good. He's hit that full ball. And this lets Shane back to the table with a chance to cut this 2 ball in. And how many times do you see the 2 ball to the 6 ball? The 3, 4, 5's gone. But that's not very often. He needs a flick. No, it's not the best of flicks. So I think he's going to be ducking here. And there you have it.
Made sense, though. Total sense. And by getting the cue ball so close to the brown 7, increased the level of difficulty here.
You can see Shane just looking at this line. 2 shots, two rails. There you go. 2 just to hit a full. He won't be happy with that. That's pretty elementary. Off 2 cushions for Niels.
Start the clock, please.
The main thing you want to do there is just make sure you hit the ball.
And you have to believe now, Ted, that's gifted the rack to Van Boening.
Well, sure. This is his chance to get back in it. He's got to give us a Shane Van Boening special, a 3-pack, a 4-pack. Turn this match around.
There's nothing worse at this level where you come out of a snooker and miss the ball.
Flash off, please.
Give ball in hand.
Flash off.
Nigel just telling somebody off in the crowd there. Somebody had the flash on the camera.
Ball in hand after you miss a snooker is a very severe punishment. Often the death knell for a rack. And it certainly is in this one. Shane Van Boening badly needed something good to happen, and happen quickly. And so he'll be relieved. The gap is now only... This is the culmination of the Mansion Bet World Pool Masters here in Gibraltar. Shane Van Boening breaking off in rack number 7, trying to reduce the deficit.
Where's the cue ball going? It's gone.
No shot. Ball in hand.
That is disaster.
That is major disaster.
Start the clock, please.
And he made the one ball.
Let's have a look. Did it get kicked? No. So Shane lost control of the cue. Very uncharacteristic for Shane Van Boening. He's one of the best at the break in 9-ball.
And you look around for clusters, and even though there is one, it's a pretty simple one to solve.
Yeah, this is the big shot in this rack now. Just got to make sure he comes back down the table for this 4-ball into the pocket near where he stood. And that's pretty good. He'll be happy with that. Does the brown 7 go in the middle? Very easy, because if it does, this is just connect the dots. I mean, it might even go past the 8-ball as well. I'm just trying to find a problem here, Ted. That's what I'm doing.
I don't think you're going to find one, Carl.
No, I think you're right. Oh, he's just come around the back of it. That's lovely.
Confident cueing by Niels Feijen.
The thing with Niels and all is he doesn't walk round the table, does he? Have you noticed? It's like big strides.
He stalks the table.
It takes him like 2 strides to get from one end to the other. Big strides around that table.
He eats up territory. Yeah, he is very into it right now. He's what we call he's in the zone.
Oh, he's in a big zone.
He is in the zone. He's got the body language speaks volumes. Niels Feijen moves to 5-2 up 3 from the title.
When you scratch on the break in any round at this level, more than likely it's going to be costly. Midway through a final, boy, does that sting. That really hurts, especially when your opponent steps in and takes absolutely full advantage, capitalizes to the max.
Yeah, and the way Niels is breaking, I mean, it's hard to see him not potting a ball off the break. He's getting that much movement on the rack. And I think Nigel's, you know, he's giving a really good consistent rack, so the balls are splitting lovely. I mean, no disrespect to the lady referee. What's the lady called again, sorry?
Desislava Boshilova.
I'm glad you said that. She's not really got a good tight rack, so the balls are a bit sluggish. As where Nigel, he's just, you can see there, he's giving it a bit more of a tighter rack, and that's making the balls split a lot easier, and I think that's why it's a more open game.
One interesting number here as Niels Feijen just looks at this. The continental composition of the winners of this tournament over the years. 16 European winners, 4 from North America, 4 from Asia. So this could be the 17th European champion in 25 attempts.
Ball down.
Look at the 1-ball. It's
there
just
it
going
is.
to dress up over the pockets.
Oh.
Niels doing a little bit of a boogie there.
Yeah. Well, he knew that just if that's 7, hey, it's that 7 again.
You called
what
it.
What is going on with the brown 7?
It is the 7
all
again.
day long. That's the one putting the spanner in the works.
I'm not sure he can even go off the side cushion here. No, there you see it. That's what he's looking at. It's a very attacking shot, but the one ball is near the pocket and he's having a go. This is attacking stuff. I mean, I don't blame him. Oh, look at that. What a shot. Is it your day?
Oh, yeah.
I think it is.
Yeah,
I think he's
you
on
want
it.
to win, you bust down the front door, not through the back door.
Yeah, and he's been rewarded here. Look at this.
You know about that, Carl, right? Got to go, you know.
You've got to attack the table.
Front door down, kick it down.
You're right, and he's been rewarded. And at first I thought the cue ball were going to sit on the red 3, but it's not. It's actually absolutely perfect.
You know what they say, fortune favours the brave.
I think that's going to be a key shot in this match now.
You probably are correct. Just the shot of confidence that gives Niels Feijen as he edges closer to victory.
I'm just looking at Shane. You can see he's going through a bit of despair in his chair there. Look at that. I know how he feels.
Anybody know how to read body language? You don't need a degree in reading body language to know where he stands in this match.
The more you've won, the more defeat hurts. And he realises that defeat is a distinct possibility, even a probability now. Because the Niels Feijen bandwagon continues to roll on. He's a juggernaut this evening, both in the semi-final and so far in the final. 6-2 ahead, 2 more racks needed to regain the World Pool Masters title. It's a head shaker for Shane.
I think it would be extra satisfying for Niels, not just, of course, winning a major like this is, you know, always going to feel great, but just the fact that how he's doing this after this 6-month layoff due to injury, it's got to feel so satisfying.
Yeah, I mean, you can just you've just sensed it after he beat O'Connor. He's just been a bit of a man on a mission, really. You can see he just looks really confident at the table. He's not. Every shot's going in the heart of the pocket, and it's going in solid. There's no like, you know, quitting on the shot. Everything's going in at a good sort of pace. And just these 3 balls for a 7-2 lead, and just to be 1 away from the title. But you know, Ted, when you're 7-2 down, you can still win.
Yes, indeed. You know something about that. Well, you didn't go on to win the title here this year, Carl, but that was perhaps the most memorable match.
It is 7-2. Wow, that was tremendous. It really was. Niels Feijen in the mythical zone. In a very good place at the moment. Niels Feijen, the man of the moment, is in a really good place here in Gibraltar. 7-2 up in the final. 1 more rack needed to be crowned World Pool Masters champion.
And let's have a look at this tremendous break he's been doing today. And the 1 ball again, look, he's got that break, but the 2 ball has been kicked up to the top rail, and a possible slight little chance for Shane.
Yes, Shane will be getting a chance. And this was about the position you were in against Ralphie last night. It was dark days.
Yeah, I was sat there looking a little bit like Shane.
Yeah.
Dejected. just wondering if Niels is looking at trying to play a carom off the right-hand side of the 2-ball to make the 8-ball. I think that's what he's looking at. Yeah, there. That's what he's trying to line up. I mean, he doesn't know where the 2's going to go, but I mean, I don't blame him for having a go at this.
Called.
Now, would this be the type of shot? Let's say it was hill-hill. Would that you wouldn't be taking that shot, maybe?
Yeah, I mean, it is a different story then, but it's risk-reward, I suppose. You know, if he feels like he can make the 8, then why not have a go at shooting it? I think he's going to try and duck, though. No, he's played it soft. Maybe a bit of a two-way type shot, but if the 8 goes in, obviously he snookers himself, so I think he probably did play safe there. With the pace he played it, just to send the 2 up the table. He obviously judged the cannon on the 8 really well there, so it's a clever shot from Niels.
Just to give you some indication of how well he's played overall in the tournament, Niels Feijen, if he were to win this rack, his frames 1-loss record would be 32-4, 13 against.
Wow.
Well, that's not going to work.
Nope, and here's Niels' first chance to win this title. Can he get on the 3-ball good? And there is your answer. It's perfect.
Carl, tell us, you've been in this position when you're on the cusp of a major pool victory and the balls are there and you're clearing up. What are the emotions?
Well, I mean, you're just trying to keep things simple, really. You don't want to make any silly mistakes. But I think that the thing with this one is he's obviously just clearly dominated the final. He's broke really well. He's had all the chances. And I don't think he's going to feel like, you know, it's not like it's 7-all and it's been a really to and fro match and it's been nip and tuck and Shane's been in the game. I think because he's been so dominant, I don't even think he's concerned.
And Ted, what about the irony of this? Shane van Boening's 2 previous appearances in the final of this when he won, he beat Nikos Economopoulos 8-2 in Nottingham. Then he beat Darren Appleton 8-2. And now he's in danger of being beaten 8-2 himself. The cruel symmetry.
Interesting factotum there. But it's just a few more balls here to the title.
He's missed it.
Oh, no.
He's missed it. Wow. Have we seen a little turning point there? You just never know. Look at this.
Amazing.
And what ball does he miss? The one with the national colour of Holland.
Oh, Phil.
Wow. Where have you
Good
pulled
one.
that one out from, Phil? That's genius.
Wow, a lifeline thrown to Shane van Boening. Still a long way to go, though, but you never know.
Well, there's a seed of doubt now in Niels' mind that's not been there in the last 2 matches. If Shane can break and run the next 2 racks to go 7-5, you just never know.
And I don't want to be the harbinger of doom, but I'll tell you what, if by some miracle Niels Feijen does lose this, he will never forget that shot as long as he draws breath.
And there we have a look at it. Look, just a simple little cut shot just to avoid the 6, come back out, but he misses the 5. Is that a little changing point in this final?
You're so right, though, Carl. That seed of doubt has been planted. It's just a matter of whether it will be allowed to germinate and grow and dominate his thoughts.
Well, if Shane can put a break and run out there, 2 of them in a row, perhaps, yes, it will definitely have fertile ground to grow that seed of doubt.
It's all about what happens now with the opportunity. If Niels gets faced with a difficult shot or a difficult layout, you just never know. But if he gets a kind layout at some point, then obviously he's probably still going to run that rack, you would think. And he's made the one ball. They're both making the one ball in the side. And he's in here, you know. He's got a chance.
Shot on the 2.
He's got a chance.
So the balls are breaking good now. This is the best we've seen in the 3 days here in Gibraltar. It's been tough going for the break shot for most of the players, but things seem to be opening up. And that could be just in time for Shane Van Boening.
I think this shot here is a bit thinner than it actually looks on the TV screens. That's why he's taking a bit of time. Oh, he's played that well. He has played that really well to avoid any kind of cannon on the 9 and the 7. Found a lovely gap.
Certainly Shane can play loose now because he was being written off by us and everyone else watching here and on television, online.
And that's a poor shot though, Ted, you know. He just flicked the 4 ball onto the cushion. So now the cue ball's got to be travelling, so he's got to... I don't think... Can he hold this ball? Or does he have to use a couple of cushions? There you see it. He's going to try and come around the back of the 5. Is he going to get there? Wow, look at that. Just misses the 5.
Well, what was nerve-wracking and not so good for Niels Feijen has been great for the final. As a contest, it's been reinvigorated.
And you just never know in the game of 9-ball pool what can happen. Once that momentum swings on a winner-break format and you start applying the pressure back on your opponent, strange things can happen.
Wow. A break and run.
Another one.
Amazing. Has he figured out the break shot just in the nick of time? 7-4 and still at the table shooting.
Well, from the brink of defeat to now having realistic hope. That's Shane Van Boening. As for Niels Feijen, he's sitting there feeling decidedly uncomfortable, thinking, why did I miss the 5? Why? Why?
This was in earlier in the previous rack. Look at that precision. Threads the needle. And he went on to clear the colors. 7-4 now.
The thing with this is now with your mentality, Niels is going to be sat there. He's played superb pool for the last 3 hours in the semis and the final. And just that little blip there, that was like title ball.
12.
You know, $20,000 ball he's just missed there. So he's got to be sat there now thinking, wow, I should be stood here with the trophy, taking pictures, having a glass of champagne. And he's stewing now. Has he made a ball? He's not, you know. Oh, no.
Well,
look at this.
A 1-9?
Does the 9 go? Shane's expression tells me it does.
Oh.
What a gift this is.
Here it is for the title.
What a gift. I'm not saying it's easy, but he could have been faced with something a lot tougher after that missed 5 ball.
Boy, Niels just sprinted out of his chair.
That is just unbelievable. Oh, this is as good as a gimme as it gets, to be honest, looking at that camera angle. there you see it.
1-9, the title was on the line, and Feijen this time didn't crumble, stood firm, and he doubles up on Shane van Boening. He wins by 8 racks to 4.